Okay, I'm going to sit here just momentarily. All right, it is 3:47 on Thursday, June 30th. CPO Steve Beltran is here with a Mr. Louis Lipsey. Can you spell your last name for me and give me your date of birth?
Last name Lipsey, date of birth December 24th, 1952.
Okay, and a couple of days ago you contacted...
I stopped in the Ogle County Sheriff's Office in Oregon.
Okay, do you remember the date and time of that?
That would have been Tuesday afternoon, I believe, which would be the 28th.
Okay.
And it would have been around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe.
Okay, and you talked to one of the sheriffs or the receptionist there?
The lieutenant that was, I guess, gathering information about the case
Okay.
was not in the office. The young lady at the window took my name and phone number and said she would pass it on to him. He'd be in the following day, and that's when I heard from you yesterday.
Okay.
So it must have been passed on to you.
Okay. So I called you yesterday then?
I believe so.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so from that perspective then, so you went there because you had some information about what?
A boating accident that had occurred Friday night, I believe. I had seen some of the individuals involved in the accident prior to the accident and can perhaps offer some information about their condition prior to the accident occurring.
Okay, so just so we know the accident that happened, where did the accident happen?
The accident would have happened downriver of Rock River Terrace, I believe in the vicinity of the Marina Campground.
Okay.
It would have occurred probably during the twilight hours.
Right.
I understand that there was a fishing boat that had collided with a pontoon boat.
Okay.
One of the occupants of the pontoon boat had jettisoned out of the boat and later was pronounced deceased.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay, and so you said, tell me more about the information then and a little bit of a timeline, if you will, if you'd start out.
Yeah, I want to say probably Friday evening around 6:30 or 7 o'clock, maybe about an hour or so before when the accident had taken place. A young lady and her uncle, I don't know names, had been driving downriver on River Road and had slowed down to go through the terrace. I had just crossed the road from my residence to go down by the river to a friend's house. They were going to have a bonfire that night. And while after arriving at the site where I was headed to, this vehicle had slowed down and the uncle, I guess, had noticed that there was a young man on wave runners down at the river that he had worked with. And they were exchanging voices with one another. The pickup truck slowed down, backed up, and the occupants of the pickup truck got out of their vehicle. The alarming thing is that the young lady who was driving the pickup truck and the occupant, which I believe was her uncle, again, the relationship I'm not very clear of, when they exited the vehicle, they were both hanging on to cans of beer.
Okay.
They proceeded to come down the driveway. I was probably a distance of 25 feet from them. Information that I kind of gathered through conversations was that she had been recently married, she was having her birthday this weekend, and they were going to do some celebrating on the river, yada, yada, yada. They weren't there that long, but one of the things I did notice by their demeanors is that they probably had been drinking for a while. She was kind of staggering in her position, and he was a little wobbly himself, but not quite as inebriated as she was. They were there only a matter of a few minutes, and they proceeded to get back in their vehicle, which I believe was a late model blue pickup truck, and they headed downriver. At that point in time, the young man that works with him simply indicated that the guy has no driver's license. It had been lost via a DUI or something, and that when he goes to work, he depends on people taking him to and from work, and he also was depending on somebody to take him to his, I guess, summer trailer or whatever at the Marina Campground. That is about as much information as I give you. I left the so-called party probably about 8:30 in the evening, was crossing back River Road to head up to a friend's house in the terrace. So that's when I saw the Byron emergency rescue boat go down river. About an hour and a half passed. My friend, whose name was Jim Engelkiss, we had been watching some hockey draft on his TV. And when I came back, walked back home, that's when I saw the helicopter with the searchlight on it fly over. And I thought there was something else going on other than a boating accident. We had no idea. I thought maybe that, and I saw quads going by without lights on, so I thought maybe there was something goofy going on. On Saturday morning, I woke up. I have a houseboat in Sebula, Iowa that I went out to work on for the day. I didn't get back late till Saturday night, but when I went back down to the Rock River, back to my friend's house on Sunday afternoon, they informed me that the people that were there on Friday night, that the young lady had died, and that I believe he was responsible for driving the pontoon boat, and there had been an accident involved.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at.
Okay. I'm just going to bring it back to a couple of different things here.
Yes.
You did mention a little bit the color of the vehicle, but when the vehicle pulled in, can you tell me the make, model, year?
I can't do that. I can just,
Whatever it is that you have, the color, make, model, year,
it would
extended
have
cab,
been,
double cab, high lift, big tire,
It
just describe
was-
the vehicle to me.
I don't believe it was a high lift vehicle. It would just been like probably maybe an 80s or 90s, again, kind of an old pickup truck. The color, maybe not, the blue is a little darker than your clipboard, so it'd be kind of like a navy blue or a Ford blue.
Mhm.
I don't believe it was extended cab. It could have been, but I never got to see the make and model of it because they parked parallel to the road and just had exited from there.
Okay, so that's fine. As far as you said, the operator was,
The female would have been the driver of the vehicle.
okay,
And again, they both were drinking. They had
Okay.
their beers and coolies.
okay. The location specifically, so you said the terrace, but what is the terrace? Where is the terrace?
The Rock River Terrace is a small subdivision located between Byron and Oregon. There is an association there that's simply referred to as Roethlisberg Park. There might be about 700 or 800 feet of frontage there, with docks and a boat ramp that residents of the terrace will use. The location of the bonfire I was at would have been the second cottage downriver from Roethlisberg Park.
Okay,
The owners are Jody and Jeff Murnack.
okay,
And their nephew, who the occupant of the truck that was talking to, is a younger kid. He goes by I don't know his last name, but his dad's name is Dirk. They refer to him as Little Dirk, and they just call him LD.
okay.
And that's who the conversation basically was taking place between the uncle of the vehicle and the young lad that I guess they worked together.
Okay, so was this young lad, was he part of your party as well, or was?
Yeah, he's again the nephew of the Murnacks, and
Okay.
the group of people were gathering for the evening. There's maybe, 7 or 8, 9 people there at the time.
Okay, okay, so, vehicle pulls up and you say it's perpendicular to the
They
house?
actually go past the cottage,
Okay.
and then they back up.
Okay,
And then they, again, just get out of the truck very briefly. I don't remember if they pulled down in the driveway. I'm pretty sure that due to the vehicles at the residence, he probably just parked off a river road parallel to the road.
okay, okay. And so that terrace, just so that we know, there is a pull down in there and then it's maybe 8 or 10 houses and then there's a quick pull out or
Yes,
something?
Roethlisberg Park has 3 entrances into it, and then south of Roethlisberg Park, the lower terrace has, oh gosh, probably 2, like you say, 2 or 3 different entrances into it. There's a wide or a large number of cottages and summer homes down there.
Right,
Very few people live there year round because it's susceptible to flooding.
right. So, but the park aspect, he didn't park at the park, he parked
Did not park in the park.
close to the house?
Very close to the house.
Okay, so but likely up on River Road, or you don't know if
Up
they
on
came down.
River Road, I don't believe there would have been room for him to come into the driveways. It's kind of a horseshoe
Yeah.
driveway down there.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, there was a large number of people that were arriving. I just don't see that there would have been room for him to do that.
No problem. I'm asking questions. If you
Yep.
don't know the answer, that's okay
Nope.
too. Either which way. So he gets out of the vehicle. You made your observations. Tell me again what you observed, and then starting from the time in which they got out of the vehicle, and they just
Well,
from there.
actually,
and
I
then
didn't
encounter.
see them exit the vehicle, but
Okay.
I do know that when they would have had to have traveled about 40, 50 feet before they came in the site. But when they came in the site, they
Called out to this young man that was.
Yeah,
there.
they had been talking to the young man. They came down to look at his wave runner and a John boat that was in the driveway, and they had their beers with them.
Okay. Okay. So what was your observations in terms of we'll start out with the driver. What was your observations of the driver?
She was wobbly. It looked like she had been drinking for some time, and
Okay.
one of the reasons I didn't come forth right away is that she's deceased.
Okay.
She's not here to defend herself. Obviously, whatever she's done wrong, she's taken that to the grave with her. But the more and more that I talked with people and that I had kind of recognized the individuals, that they are the same individuals involved,
Okay.
that I feel sorry for the gentleman that was in the fishing boat. Even though he's the only one that I guess it's been ticketed so far, it changed his life forever. But it seems like occupants of the other boat were impaired as well, and facts have to come forward.
Okay.
Okay, it's not up for me to decide what's right and wrong, but I believe that all the information should come out.
Okay. So you said that she was wobbly. Go ahead and describe to me anything else that you noticed about her. Do you remember her clothing that she was wearing?
I
Her
remember
physical
she was
description?
dark-haired.
Okay.
She didn't look anything like the photographs that have been appearing on the TV. Her hair maybe would have been tied back a little bit, maybe like a ponytail, wearing shorts, maybe a short-sleeve shirt.
Color shorts, colors.
I'm not even gonna guess. If I was gonna guess at a color, it would maybe be blue shorts with a white top, but I'm not certain on that.
How old was she?
In her late 20s, early 30s.
Can you describe her height, her color, the skin color that she had?
White Caucasian. Don't think she had that much of a tan to her.
Hair
maybe-
length,
Hair length was long.
eye color,
Dad, I never got close enough to see the eye color.
any tattoos?
Don't
any-
recall seeing any of those.
Okay,
I
scars
just
or marks
focused. I focused on her general demeanor,
No
and
problem.
that was it.
Okay. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and describe the man, and then we'll also describe
The
after
man would
that.
have been a little bit taller. If I was going to give her a height, I would say average 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", maybe give or take.
Okay.
He was a little bit taller, a little bit skinnier. If I'm not mistaken, he would have had short blondish hair.
Okay.
He probably had a more noticeable tan to him, but I think he was in shorts and flip-flops himself.
Okay. Goatee.
Can't recall that.
Any facial hair at all? Or
Can't recall that. He maybe would have had something like I had, but again, first thing, again, I focused on the beverage containers.
Okay.
And after that, I just kind of
Okay.
looked away.
So, do you know about how old he is?
I would put him somewhere in his mid to late 40s or maybe early 50s.
Okay. How much did he weigh?
Again, he's tall, so I'm going to say 200 pounds, give or take 20 pounds.
Okay. And
Again, he's thin and more on the thin side. He's not pudgy like me.
okay.
And she wasn't all that heavy either. She's, again, average build.
Okay. What was he wearing?
Again, he was probably wearing shorts, had flip-flops, and maybe a t-shirt.
Okay. All right. So they exit the vehicle. What did you see when they got out of the car? For him, I know we talked about her, but for him.
Again, I just saw them coming down the driveway. He was making small talk with the young man, and then he was trying to see if the owner of the cottage would be willing to park with the John boat. And once he found out that that didn't take place, they kind of joked around for just a few minutes and they left. They weren't there all that long,
Okay.
just less than 5 minutes, I would say.
Okay.
They backed up, exchanged conversations, came down just to be friendly. Then they got back in their truck and went downriver.
Okay.
So again, the occurrences, it's quick. I can only give you a quick observation of what I saw.
Right.
Again, the most important information was the drinking involved when they got out of their vehicle. Because I'm assuming that they had to have done that and had it with them all the time. Because those, I didn't hear any psh when they got out. It came with them and it left with them.
Okay. Let's see here. Trying to think of anything else that was pertinent. Is there anything else about that day? Who else was with you at the time when you know? This
It would have been, again, Jody and Jeff Bernack, the owners of the cottage.
Okay.
LD, I'm not sure if their daughter or her, I think her boyfriend might have been there.
Okay.
That is hard. I was only there an hour and a half or so, but I don't recall seeing that too many more people. Trying to, if you give me some time, maybe I'll wake up in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Remember?
No problem. Now I know that you mentioned to me earlier of your life experience in terms of you're a retired teacher. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And in the field of biology,
Mm-hmm.
and you used to teach up at
Rock Valley.
Rock Valley. Okay. And just so that way I know in terms of your experience with people, in terms of you know, identifying certain things and stuff. The drink that you saw in their hand, you identified as an alcoholic beverage.
It's a beer.
You've seen beers before.
I've seen beers before. I drink beers. Beers come in cans.
Okay, I have to ask, you know, and stuff like that, you know, because
No.
So as far as that goes, so do you remember what kind of beer it was?
No, you couldn't see it. It had a coolie on it.
Okay, all right. And then I'll ask, have you ever been around anybody before that's been drinking? And
Yes, I had
Okay.
A brother-in-law who is now deceased that had a drinking issue.
No problem.
There's been other people that I've associated with over time. You get to recognize the demeanor of people once they've had too much to drink or getting close to it.
Okay, I just got to ask, you know,
No.
so yeah, you could recognize that,
You can
you know,
recognize
from your life experience and stuff
Yes.
like that. Any formal training or anything along the lines of your life that would otherwise point to that throughout your career or personal or professional type of stuff?
No,